I'm Lola.
And I'm Mamuna. Together, we have a combined 35 years of experience within the tech scene in North America and Europe.
We talk about the highs, the lows, the WTFs of navigating the technology industry and answer your questions about navigating tech careers.
This is Lost in Tech. Chatty for today, thing to talk about, found interesting, was the CEO of Nvidia, Jensen Huang.
Okay,
Okay.
Super cool guy.
He was on the Acquired podcast recently, and I think had a really interesting hot take on AI and jobs that were interesting in speaking through quickly. So he said, quote, "With respect to automation, my feeling is that, and we'll see, it is more likely that AI is going to create more jobs in the near term. The question is, what's the definition of near term? And the reason for that is the first thing that happens with productivity is prosperity. When the companies get more successful, they hire more people because they want to expand into more areas. So the question is, if you think about a company and say, okay, if we improve the productivity, then need fewer people, well, that's because the company has no more ideas. But that's not true for most companies. If you become more productive and the company becomes more profitable, usually they hire more people to expand into new areas." Thoughts?
Preach. When did he record this episode?
I think this is more recent.
There are two. There's one in 23 and one in 2025. So I'm going to go listen to this whole episode. Okay. Because I am like, why is he the first person to say this? Like,
I've never heard anyone else say this or have this hot take, but I agree fully.
And even if I 100%. So we've had a real journey on this podcast of like exploring and then adapting and starting to use AI tools. It took me a hot minute. As productive as I feel I've become by integrating AI into my workflow, you know what I haven't become? Less busy.
Actually, I've been able to do more.
I am doing more. I am doing so much more. And it's flabbergasting to find that people, so I think there are a bunch of assumptions that we make about what productivity means. And there's another article that we'll link in the show notes that everybody should read. It's behind a paywall, find a way around it. I didn't tell you to do that. But it's a McKinsey article from years ago, which basically talks about why incumbents fail and disruptors succeed. And it's because incumbents assume their business is going to iterate around a set of core beliefs that don't change. And innovators and disruptors, they have to make themselves, they have to find a way to exist. They have to ruthlessly pivot. And they challenge every fundamental belief about what might be good for the market constantly until they nail things. And it happens slowly sometimes. And they use like Blockbuster and Netflix that everybody uses as a story. But like, there was a good 10-year period where both companies existed and Blockbuster looked like it was winning and Netflix was not winning. And I think AI is having the impact in the workplace that the McKinsey article talked about, which is people are like, oh, I can reduce costs and I can reduce headcount and the market is going to be like, yay, profit. But there is an inbuilt assumption there that the business I have now will always be relevant. And I think that is so flawed that we are going to watch it tumble giants because more fool them.
Yeah. I mean, you think about the assumptions that go into your business always being relevant, right? Which means that the economy, the environment, the landscape, the needs, the technology, everything around you has to be constant and the same in order for that statement to be true, which we all know everything is changing constantly very fast.
100%. 100%. I think it's a matter of time. We're going to see a business. Nvidia is a really good example of that, actually. Like, obviously, they're into manufacturing, but like they're constantly used to compare themselves in like profitability per employee is in like the top 5 companies of the world where they're growing and hiring more people. And those people are still magnitudes more profitable than every employee at an Apple or, name a company that's reduced their staffing because of AI. Nvidia is more profitable than that company right now.
Yeah.
And Nvidia is not necessarily reducing its headcount. So
it's interesting to me, I think, as a lot of companies, because I think that everything happens in waves. So we saw during COVID, first companies let go of a ton of people, and then they had to hire back a ton of people because of this big boom. And then coming out of COVID, we started to see like the layoffs. I forgot what Zuckerberg called it, but like started to see like the layoffs, and companies just started cutting down the individuals. And I feel like AI is like almost another wave where people are like, okay, we're not going to need all these people. And then we're going to see, I think like a boom where people are like, oh my gosh, these tools allow us to enter into new markets, serve different needs, whatever it is. And they're going to need more people to build these tools to now expand into these areas. And so it's going to be really interesting, and I'm hoping that it moves pretty quickly for those people who are in the job market trying to find new things.
Well, I also think people in the job market, we said it before, like this is your entrepreneurial moment, because one thing AI is also able to do is to bootstrap you in terms of resources if you want to start a business. And I'll tell you one thing, there's a crazy dystopian video about the way in which AI could become sentient. So this kind of general AI risk. It's a video that follows some research that some AI researchers have put together about we could be very wrong about how we're doing this. And in 5 years, we could have basically brought out global destruction because we are naively, not even naively, almost in some cases like criminally negligent in the way that we're dealing with AI safety. One of the things that it kind of alludes to that I also went into a rabbit hole of is AI actually isn't innovative. Its function, a lot of the learning models are that they need more data to enrich their intelligence. And that data has to exist for them to become more intelligent. Whereas what humans have done over the history of time is created things that had no precedent. There was nothing already there, and an idea sparked and a moment connected and something was invented. And so I think if companies do want to survive, the way to do that is to see AI not as a replacement for people, but as an augmentation to enable people, exactly as Jensen says, to find more time for those creative sparks, like that innovation cycle. It's not obvious stuff. It's not logical reasoning. It's not even always inference. It's hard to describe, right? And I think only humans are capable of that. And the fact that we're scared of AI's general intelligence is because the only thing it will do over time is try and acquire more knowledge and power. That is not creativity.
No.
That is just...
You have to feed it that. Like
you have to feed it with something for it to learn. And that's the problem with AI. It can only learn from stuff that already exists. It can help produce new things based on things that have existed, but it doesn't often innovate completely. Like it doesn't come up with something that doesn't, and it doesn't therefore just create that connection.
And hallucinate.
And it hallucinates. It hella hallucinates and lies. Imagine. What would we do if our kids were lying that much? Anyway, this is a great topic. I'm definitely going to go and listen to that podcast because I think he's saying something that I wish other people were saying. So we've made this show for you and we want to hear your stories. We have our combined 35 years experience in tech. We have an incredible bank of experts to call on. We are your safe space. So send us your tech challenges and we'll help you create some draft decisions through some real talk.
You've been listening to me, Mamuna Oladipo.
And me, Oyelayo-Pearson.
Edited and produced by me, Michael Bussa, with theme music by 031 Mash.
Email us at help@lostintechpodcast.com or DM us at lostintechpod.